My fiancé are supposed to get married next month. His family was happy for him, but now they've completely turned. For starters, I know that our ages may seem very young. But I truly love this boy, and for the first time in my life, I see that someone else truly loves me. I am so happy and feel so secure in this relationship, and we both decided to get married. I met him when I was living in LA. After 3 months of dating, I had to move 4 hours away back to my hometown due to a very abusive previous relationship I was in. I had to get away for my own health and safely. I told him I'd try to make it work long distance, or that I'd understand if he wanted to end things. Without a second doubt, he moved away with me, and now we have been together for almost 8 months in our own apartment, happily with our 2 cats. Again, I know 8 months might seem soon, but I don't think there should be a set time on love. Anyways, I told my family we are getting married in October in just a simple courthouse wedding. We don't have the money for a real wedding at all, but I don't care. I told him I don't even need a ring, I just want to be with him. My family was excited and very happy for us. He told his family about 2 weeks ago. I think they were very shocked and scared I was pregnant and we were doing this because I was pregnant. I am not, but ultimately they said as long as you're happy. About a week ago, his aunt and uncle call him. His uncle has had terrible previous marriages and divorces that broke his heart and his wallet. His aunt is a very well-off lawyer from London. She is extremely smart and kind. They both talked him into getting a prenup, something my fiancé didn't want before. I told him I'd be perfectly fine with signing it and that I didn't mind, even though we previously agreed we wouldn't get one. His family's main concern is that he'd later inherit about 1 to 3 million from his family after they passed. They very well know that I come from a poor family, and I will never inherit anything. And that's okay, I was fine with signing a prenup. My fiancé felt scared and forced to say yes, so his aunt started drafting a prenup. His uncle called today and my fiancé told him that he felt like he was untruthful and that he should have been honest that he didn't want one. He told him he didn't want one, and his uncle called my fiancé's mom. His mom texted him about an hour ago, saying she was disappointed and sad. I was a little scared and saddened by this, because I think they might believe that I forced him to say no to a prenup and forced him to change his mind. I started begging him to get one just so it would put his family at ease. He said that's not how he wants to start off our marriage. A few minutes later, his mom got upset and started sending larger texts that include sentences of "she isolated you from your family, it's too soon, and she treats you like crap." I have no idea where this is coming from. He said he called his mom a few times when he had rough days and I was away at work, but didn't make it out that I treat him horribly. And I really don't, I love this boy more than anything. She also kept reiterating that I will never have money, and that he will, so he has to protect himself from me. I instantly had a breakdown and I feel so heartbroken. I feel like his family doesn't like me, or even tolerate me, and I don't know what to do. I still want to marry and be with him, and I will still do that. But I just can't see myself faking a smile anytime I would ever go over to their house again, and if she said these things in text, I know she's expressing her view of me to the rest of his family. I don't know if I'm overreacting and I don't know what to do. I feel like I did nothing wrong to deserve this and I have no clue what to do to fix it. I am so scared to ever go over to their house again, and I'm scared of the judgment. I just feel lost. Could they just feel this way because in their eyes, I took away their son and by the phone call, she maybe over-exaggerated what he was telling her? If so, I don't know how I am supposed to fix this, and all within a month. Comment. What is your fiancé doing about it? It's his family, so he's the one who has to talk to them and figure something out. I understand their concerns. Consider their point of view. Their 22-year-old son/nephew meets a girl in a bad relationship, moves away with her within months of meeting her, and then springs a courthouse wedding on them after clearly complaining to them about how you treat him. Then, at first he says he's okay with a prenup, but, to them, suddenly changes his mind. I would be suspicious, too, and I have no money. I'm not a lawyer so I don't know prenup laws, but if I were you I would offer a compromise for him to give them, a prenup that says something along the lines of any family inheritance is his, but anything you make/buy and combine in the marriage would be split evenly. If you become a stay-at-home mom, you would be given alimony, etc. That way, their concern about inheritance would be covered, but you'd also be covered, as well. It's not your fault he inadvertently made you look bad to his family, but they're not assholes for looking out for him, either. You're welcome, and I hope this all works out. I understand where your boyfriend is coming from. My husband and I didn't even discuss a prenup, even though he comes from a more well-off family than me, because we didn't want to start our marriage on the basis that it would fail one day. We've been together 18 years, married 10, since we were 23, as well, and it's never been an issue. That said, I've seen some pretty nasty divorces where money changed people, so I understand wanting one, as well. Either way, all you can do is offer an alternative. If he doesn't accept that, it's on him to deal with his family. You have done nothing wrong, and so you don't have to fix anything. You can't make your fiancé agree to doing a prenup, even though you've agreed to it. Just hold your head high, and carry on with your life. Just FYI, I got married at 23, and 40 years later, we're still happily together. Divorce lawyer here. Inheritances are almost always excluded from division, even without the prenup. Sign it and move along in your lives. Next story 2. After 5 years, girlfriend and I moved in together 1 month ago. Now all seems lost. My girlfriend of 5 years and I have had a truly wonderful relationship. She has enriched my life and I have hers. We lived apart all that time so I could live at home and save money up after university for our future. She put a lot of pressure on me to move in together, but I was into it, I wanted it, I just was trying to be responsible. Finally we found such a lovely place to rent together. We leased it for the year. She gave up her little studio. 1 month after moving in together, she asks me if it's normal to have a crush on someone at work. I said sure, there be some fine people out there, you just gotta move on with your day, let it go and maintain boundaries. I do believe her that nothing has happened. I felt very secure in our relationship. My girlfriend is a survivor of childhood trauma in the foster system, and I've seen over time how valuable trust is to her. I trust her that she wasn't cheating on me. Then a few days later, she came to me to talk about some relationship things we had to work on, because moving in together was a lot harder than she thought and she was scared we were not the match she once thought. I expressed to her that I felt this challenge were normal and temporary. We saw it in many of our friends going through the same thing but made it through. I was willing to work to be a better partner. The next day she told me that we needed to break up because was feeling disconnected from the relationship and couldn't subdue this feeling that the crush she had for someone else was a sign of the end. I went to my parents' house for the weekend, but we kept in touch and she told me she was sorry and thinks she is going through a crisis and jumped the gun. I truly believe this is an episode brought on by PTSD or something. In response to the same stress I see other go through, I am patient with her and love her and can live with her illness. It's happened with other things where I see her confuse emotions and then eventually sort it out. I insisted on a week of no contact because I needed her to be able to process emotions without taking me on this emotional roller coaster. We are going into day 3 of it, and it's been really hard for me, and one of the hardest thoughts is actually that I was right and she wants to come back to me, but I'm not there for her and I have to tell her to leave. Honestly, if this time apart drives her into another man's arms, then I dodge a bullet. But, I am starting to worry that even though I love her so very deeply, there isn't anything she could say to me that would restore my sense of security in the relationship. I can afford to live in the condo alone. She cannot but has nowhere to go. She has almost nothing of her own. I know she hurt me, but I still now feel horrified by the idea that the best thing for me is kick her out, after a reasonable time like a month, so that I can move on with my life. I am worried that she has it in her mind that she can have me back. I am so distraught not knowing if I can let myself move on. I don't know that I can take another 4 days, especially if those 4 days are just time where she is strengthening a relationship with someone else, while I sit in my childhood bedroom paying for a luxury condo in my favorite neighborhood. I made up the rules of this time apart. Is it stupid of me to just check in with her in a day or so? To see if she is ready to talk. That way I could prime her for the fact that I feel like she needs to prove to me she is back and won't just accept her. If she doesn't want me back, then I just want her to stop thinking about emotions and focus on getting a plan together to leave. It's hard hanging on to love so that there is a chance we can be together and not growing upset with how vulnerable I've become. What do you think I need to hear from her to give my heart back to her? Is there a path forward? Even if I still love her so much today, am I better off calling off the trial apart to just protecting myself and let her walk? Comment. I'm very sorry. I think you can contact her. There is no actual rule. I encourage you to take your time in this process. Listen to her, See how you feel. Talk to each other, listen, take some time, talk again. It's tempting to try to move to the end, because it's very hard to be in the middle of the mess. My experience is that it pays to go slowly, even when it's so difficult. Good luck to you. Wow, she's a mess. Does she have a therapist? If not, she desperately needs one. You can reach out or do whatever you want to do. Don't worry about that. You should have no regrets if you ask her to leave. She will figure out a way to live on her own. That is not your problem. I can't tell you what to do, but I can tell you I'd be done with her. I'm not a very forgiving person once my trust is violated. Just call her and try and work it out. Seriously. You're both young, it's hard transitioning to live in relationship, these feelings are normal all around. You sound compassionate and patient. Keep being that way. It will pay off. Or it won't, but you'll find that out sooner than later. One time off the deep end, no cheating, isn't reason to throw it away. You sound very mature, she sounds like a mess. I get that you've been with her since you were rather young, but do you really think she is the best you can do? I'm of the opinion that you should find the best partner possible for your future children. Too many people in the sub break up after having a kid instead of before. That just ruins the kid's life, which is irresponsible.